Hello, welcome to my talk. And here we are. I know I skipped the week because I it was really busy and hectic last week, but here we are again. The last part of chapter 7. I know I did the first part last time. And so this second part I thought was really good. Like it was really interesting to me. And I'm gonna start with a story he talks about because it's all about detachment. Like at the beginning, it talked about more like the conscious mind and all that good stuff, um, perspectives and stuff like that. And then it says to slow down and find your compassion for yourself. I think that's all I went, and then this second part is stay present. Like nothing owns you. You are, here to just do things and just live a happy life. That's what God wants us to be happy. So just move on, let go of things, and do the best you can to just be happy and comfortable in yourself. And nothing owns you, and you don't know nothing. That's what we're going to talk about right now. Um, so I have the story that I'm like, oh, what? I lost myself because I was going to start with the story and I started talking about something else. Anyway, here's the story. It's a story of a monk it's a girl. I thought only boys were monks, but it's a girl monk. And she's traveling and she gets to this palace and knocks at the door and she says that she wants to stay there. And, they say, "What? Wait, what up? Let me tell the king." So the king says, "Bring her in. Let's see what she has to say." And so she's in there and she says, "Oh, I would like to stay the night here at this hotel." And he says, "This is not a hotel. This is my palace. I own this." And he goes, "Oh yeah, and who owned it before you?" And she goes, the king goes, "My father. I'm the heir to my father. This was inherited to me." And she goes, "Oh, and where is he?" And he died. He died. He's not here. And he goes, "Oh, so he's not here anymore." And the king's all like, "What's going on? What is all this?" And she says, "And who lived here before your father?" And goes, "His father." And so then she goes, "Oh, so it seems to me that people come here, stay a while, and then leave." And he's all like confused. And she goes, "Well, that sounds like a hotel to me, so I'd like to stay the night." And, I didn't think of it that way until I read it. But, this house, belonged to somebody, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and then me. And one day I'm going to be gone, and somebody else is going to be here and take it. We're purchasing the house, and selling and buying and selling. But yeah, and the time I'm going to leave with nothing. And so is that king. So hopefully he let her stay the night, but it doesn't say at the end. But just the story of nothing belongs to you, nothing owns you. Anyway, I thought it was cool. I don't know of you, but I thought it really, like, I could see it in my mind. The king going like, "Oh." Anywho, so the story gives a window into the illusion of permanence with which we all live. A more recent window is tidying up with Marie Kondo. Oh, Marie Kondo. Do you guys know who Marie Kondo is? I know who Marie Kondo is because my daughter, introduced me to her. She has a show on Netflix. Um, I think it's called Mary Kondo. I'm not sure, but it's this little Asian lady, and the reason my daughter asked me to watch this is because I am a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder like hoarders, but I am very attached to my stuff, and I love all my stuff. So I can't let go, and I'll keep it. And even though I don't use it in a million years, then when I tidy up that area again, I see it again, and I feel good that I have it, and then I put it there for another 5 years. And my daughter is all the opposite of me. She wants me to. The house is a little more decluttered now than it was 5 years ago, maybe more, and it's all because of her. It's about 5 years because she's 20 now. So she started about 15 when you start realizing, your surroundings and what's going on. Um, so she started like going through things, especially like during the summer when she didn't have anything, and now she works, so she stopped doing that. But she was throwing all my stuff away. Literally threw all my stuff away. She would go into different places, different rooms, and say, "Okay, I'm gonna work on this, mom, and you can't be here because I'm gonna release some stuff." And she would clean up, and she did a lot of drawers in the kitchen. I had an I have the pantry, and then on top there's a little another uh, little cupboard there, and I would put all like things that I use for parties, yada yada, like plates, cups, um, things like plates that I don't use all the time that I use when I take something to a potluck or something. And she went up there and she found like birthday stuff from when she was one, when all my kids like the little happy birthday signs. And she goes, "Why do you have this?" And I go, "Well, I used that for your first birthday." And she goes, "Well, I'm never gonna use it again." I go, "But it reminds me." But we never see it, we never use it again. It's been there for 20 years. Well, 15 at the time. But she threw all of that away, my memories. But they weren't displayed. Like if it's displayed, looks nice, whatever. But it was in there in the back corner, just accruing dust, and she threw them away. Like it hurts me right now just to think. But I was there, and at one point she was showing me, "Here, what about this? What about this?" And I just couldn't. My heart hurt. I wanted to cry, even though it was some of it was like trash. And so she said, "You know what? I'm gonna clear it, and I'm gonna do it when you're not here because you're not letting go of anything." But she helped me clear out a lot of like stuff. I had she was this started when she was about 15, and I had things from my wedding that I hadn't opened, or it was open but they were put away, and in 15 years I hadn't used them. And she's all like, she found a whole set of like utensils, forks, spoons, little knives, pretty. But I was using the ones that were in the cupboard, which I don't think were even mine. They were just inherited there. And she goes, "Why are we using these ugly ones when we have these?" I go, "I don't know. I just don't want to use them because they're new." Well, they're always going to be new and they're always in the box. So she took them out, threw away. Actually, she didn't throw away. She gave them to grandma because at grandma's house, she buys new forks all the time, and then they get lost. Then they're out of forks. So she gave my mom all my old forks and spoons and put all the new ones in there. So now we're using all the new ones and our plates. I think some of them were put out, so I use them to decorate the table most of the time because we still use the same ones. Because I got like plates. I got one, two, three, four. I had 4 or 5 sets of plates and bowls and all that for my wedding. So I took two that I still use. They're just my favorites. Those are the ones I use. And the new ones, they were just in boxes or put away. And she brought them out so we could see them now. And but I still, when I go to grab a plate, I still grab the ones that I open first, just because I don't know. I love them all. And the thing is, I remember who gave them to me, and those are like, she was trying to get rid of those too. And I go, no, my aunt gave these to me. My uncle gave these to me. I cannot just throw them away. Plus, they work, so I still use them. Anywho, enough about that. But I can't let go. It's that's one thing. But anyway, she has a show on there, all the story because of the show, Mary Kondo, and we watched it, and then I started calling her, oh, so you're minimalist, because she gets rid of everything. And she goes, don't call me that, don't put names on me that da 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 da. So Mary Kondo was put away because my daughter didn't want me to say things about that. And so she just came up in the book. So it reminded me of all this situation a couple of years back that has helped me clean my house. Because now she's working, she's older, so she's not here that much. And now I try to like declutter, or like I do what Mary Kondo says, like, don't just throw it away, like hug it, put it to your heart, say thank you for all the help you gave me during all these years, but it's time to go help somebody else. And either you give it to Goodwill, or if it's like trash, you could throw it in the trash. But most of the stuff was going to Goodwill because it was a lot of clothing, a lot of stuff. But people have a lot more stuff than I do. But yeah, and their house is a lot more cluttered than mine. Mine, I put my stuff and I put it in the way back corner so you don't see it. And there are some stuff that, like my jacuzzi room, I just can't figure out how to clean that baby because I keep putting more stuff in there. Anyhow, okay, so much about that. Mary Kondo helps people declutter their lives, and at the end, over and over again, you'll see people weeping with relief and joy of having purged so much. That's because they've just dramatically decreased the number of things they're attached to. Attachment brings pain. Just because when you can't let go, it like hurts my heart to let go of stuff. And I've seen people that want to get rid of like stuff, and I tell them, how could you? Like, it's like the only memory you have of this person or this thing. And anyhow, that's me. Um, so the whole thing of this last part of the chapter is detachment, and just how to do that. Don't it's don't get too attached that it hurts. Um, he was also talking about some, I can't see it now, but pain, and how to stay present. And he says it's something about pain. I remember him saying he meditates and extreme heat or extreme cold, so he could like go inwards to meditate and not feel the pain of the heat or the pain of the cold. Is crazy stuff. But they were talking about pain like that it's a lot of the pain you go through, emotionally, or for real pain, like a cut, is your mind. Like if you go to your mind and start thinking something else, or focus on something different than the pain, then it won't be as painful. And that's what he means by meditating in the cold or heat, that he could go inward and meditate and not feel the discomfort of the cold or the heat. And and we tend to be crybabies because we let the feeling feel. And if we like try a little bit to go more in our brain and be present and let the pain go. I mean, it's still gonna hurt, but it's, you know, not that bad. Don't be a crybaby. Pretty much what it says here. How to detach. So it just like the whole chapter is about this pretty much, but the end is more like detach. And so he says we start with awareness, spot the attachment. When do you experience it? When are you most vulnerable to it? Let's say you want to detach from technology. Do you use it out of boredom, laziness, fear of missing out, loneliness? If you want to stop drinking, look at the frequency and time of day. Are you using it to unwind, to connect, to reward yourself, or to check out? So, figure out why you do the things you do so then you can figure out how to detach. Once you have diagnosed the attachment, the next step is to stop and rethink it. What do you want to add and what do you want to subtract? How much time do you want to dedicate to technology and in what form? Are there certain apps you want to eliminate entirely, or do you want to limit the time that you're spending using the phone? For drinking, you might look at whether you think you need to quit entirely, whether you want to experiment with a dry month to see what you learn about yourself, or whether you want to limit yourself. And that would be the second step. The third step is to swap in new behaviors. There are two general approaches that I recommend. Choose the one that best suits your personality. The monk way is to go all in. If immersion and extremes work best for you, you might commit to eliminating social media entirely for a week or a month, or you might, as I mentioned above, go on the wagon for a month. If I think that's talking about the drinking, I don't know. If you work better in slow, gradual iteration, make a small change and build on it. In the case of technology, you could limit the amount of time you allow yourself to be online, or perhaps limit but don't fully eliminate certain apps. Decide how you want to spend your newfound time. If you want to minimize your YouTube time, look for another way to find the relaxation or decompression. Meditation is my first go to. If you're cutting back on social media, do you want to spend the time interacting with friends in real life rather than online? Perhaps as a project, you could select which of those Instagram photos deserves to go in an album or on your wall. Use your found time to fulfill the same need or to accomplish the projects and to-dos that always linger on the back burner. Cool, right? Mind maintenance. Detached doesn't mean we completely. So, detachment doesn't mean we completely ignore our bodies and our minds. The body is a vessel, it contains us, so it's important. We have to take care of it, feed it, keep it healthy. But the vessel is just a carrier. What it carries is the real value. And the mind, as we've talked about it, is an important counterbalance to the intellect, control, and restraint. Without his chariot horse and reins, the charioteer options are limited. She is slow, or he can't travel for far on his own, or she can't pick up a weary travelers and help them on their journey. We do not want to eliminate the voices in our heads or the body that carries them. We just want to steer them in the right direction. But this means the charioteer's work is never done. So they even have I remember showing you the picture of the chariot, right? There it is on the last thing, and it's I think this is where I left off, the intellect, the body and then the mind, which are the horses, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight. That is what he's talking about when he's talking about the chariot. Uh, tuning into your mind, the less effort it takes. So it's all about, tuning into your mind, going in, um, being present, slowing down a bit, and just enjoying. And that is what the mind is all about. And I, I thought this chapter was pretty interesting. It was. It like gave me like it's really a good book, and I hope I'm explaining, because I'm just going, that was a long chapter, and I'm just going like a little bit at a time. So I'm past 20 minutes, so I'm gonna let it go here. But the next one is ego, and that's chapter 8. It seems pretty. Oh, maybe it's not that long. Maybe I could do the whole thing. But yeah, let's talk about ego next. But I really like this one about the mind, because the mind is amazing, and I've been listening to, what is it, manifestation thingies, and how important the mind is in how you live. Because if you believe things and you're happy and you bring those, they happen. You just have to believe, and that's the main thing. Because I've been, trying with my vision board. Here it is, I still have it. um and I look at the little one that I did, beginning of this year too, and I'm sad that a lot of those things that have not happened. But take it, I'm in debt, right? And I think I'm working towards it a lot, and I'm almost done, you guys. It's incredible. But and they say not to wait till you're finished doing something to start, but and then I haven't, because I think I could have been done already if I hadn't like enjoyed and splurged here and there, um, with things, especially for my kids. I really enjoy from the heart giving them stuff, and making, like, one of my daughters just had a birthday, and is just happy to see their joy when they get stuff they like, and I really enjoy that. Giving is a good thing. If you give, you receive back. Anyway, at least a lot of love, a lot of love. Um, but that's what I'm just gonna stop already. But I hope you enjoyed it. I love this chapter. I thought it opened my mind. It's a chapter about mind, chapter 7, and it opened my mind to just, things that I do that I should not do, and just opening up, and to not being so attached to everything. Like, even right now, like, I'm detaching from my children. I'm empty nester syndrome, because even though they live here, they they're leaving me. I feel lonely, and I need to detach from that, because I left my parents, my parents left theirs. My kids are leaving me, and I need to be okay with that, because they're not mine, and they have to live their own life. And that's one of the major things, because that I don't struggle too much, and because I'm very relaxed, but that is like killing me right now. I feel like lonely at times, because I used to do like everything for them, and now they all have cars, so now they don't need me to take them anywhere. I would be so busy with them, so now I have to busy myself with stuff for me, which is a good thing. But it's just crazy. It's gotta let it go, gotta detach, With that, I leave you. Bye bye. Talk to you next week.